Cartier, what we doing, bros?
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Cook with Cartier recipe video. Happy New Year's to everybody. Hope y'all enjoyed your holidays. Again, look, this is our second recipe of the year, and look, it's not gonna let you down. Y'all seen in that thumbnail, y'all already know what we're doing. Today, we're gonna be making that pepper chicken. Y'all see these ingredients that we got in front of us? It's not that many, so that's how you know it's gonna be an easy cook. We got our peppers, so we're gonna be using bell peppers today. Now we want to use the color bell peppers. You could use red, orange, yellow, green. You could use whatever combination that you want to use. I'm gonna just use red, orange, and green bell peppers because I don't need all the bell peppers. Now if you got a bigger serving size, use whatever peppers that you want. And I think that these colors right here, they're gonna look good. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good contrast when it comes to the peppers because you know stuff like that important. You want that to stand out. Then don't have to do this part, but just to add a little kick, a little sneak up on you, we're gonna add just a little bit of a jalapeno pepper too. You can use serrano pepper, or you don't have to use no necessarily hot pepper at all. You can just do bell pepper and that's it. So the jalapeno, that's optional. So look, we got our peppers right there. Then right here, we got our chicken. Now look, we got our chicken breast, but we got the thin sliced chicken breast because kind of like if you have a pepper steak, you want kind of like that flank skirt steak, like those thin slices. So we're gonna kind of mock and imitate that with the thin sliced chicken breast. It's gonna be real easy. We're gonna slice it up and yeah, we're gonna get going. Now you could just use regular chicken breast too, but if you're gonna use a regular chicken breast, I'll say you should either flatten it out or cut the chicken breast in half, butterfly it so that you can kind of get those thinner slices. But I'll say just go with the thin slices anyway, just because, it's just one less step that you gotta do. Now, boom, we right here with it, all in this pan. So look, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna get right into it. We got a little prep to do, not much though. We're just gonna get these vegetables going, cleaned up, chicken cleaned up, cut everything up, slice everything up, season up real good, and we're gonna go ahead and get in this pan. Let's get into this recipe. All right, y'all, so like I said, there's not gonna be too much to it. We're gonna get our chicken. Got this right here. We're gonna go ahead and just slice this up so we can go ahead and get this out the way. Throw it in a bowl over here. We're gonna throw it in this bowl and then we just gonna get it seasoned up. So let's just go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna show y'all how we kind of want to slice these pieces up. Now, like I said, we already got thin slices. So, we already ahead. Now I kind of just want to cut them into strips like this. That's what we want. We're gonna get them off to the side like that. Boom, and then we're just gonna keep going with it, like I said. Just cut them into strips. See, now pieces like this, I'm cool with these. This is exactly what we want right here. So boom, we're gonna get those off into the side, into our bowl. And then we're just gonna go with the rest of our chicken. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna slice up our strips. So let's just go ahead and do that. Before we do our vegetables, before we go ahead and prep our vegetables, we're just gonna go ahead and season up our chicken and just, while we do our vegetables and get ready for everything else, we just gonna let it marinate for, like 20, 30 minutes, just to give it a head start and flavor. So we're gonna start off with some oil, and then we're gonna do our main ingredients. We're gonna do our all-purpose seasoning, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. We're gonna do some oregano. We gotta get that pepper in there. Be generous with that pepper. We're gonna add in some lemon pepper, season in just so we can give it a little bit of acidity. And then also, we got that pepper in there as well. So we're just gonna add in that element. Like that. And then whatever Cajun seasoning you got. You can use the Slap Your Mama. You can use, the Creole, whatever Cajun seasoning that you do have. We're gonna go ahead and use that as well. Get that kick and that flavor in there. We're gonna take some all-purpose flour. And we're gonna add about, to this, I'm gonna add about roughly 1/4 cup. Mix this in real good. And like I said, all we doing right now is we just gonna, you know, pretty much season our chicken and marinate it. That's pretty much all that we're doing. But yeah, we got that flour in there, everything coated. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna set this off to the side now. We don't need this no more. Let's go ahead and prep our vegetables now. We got new equipment. Look, we got new knives in the building. We got the Knife Saga branded knives. Christmas gift. Shout out to Dad for these. Yeah, come with the sharpener. Yeah, all that. We already know. We're gonna go ahead and break this one in with our vegetables. So let's just go ahead. I can show y'all the whole set, but we ain't even gonna do all that. All right, y'all, so we're going strips. All our peppers, we're gonna go the long way. We're gonna go long strips for everything. So we're just gonna chop these up, get these prepped, and we're just gonna get them on in our tray. Ooh. These are good strips right here, just like that. So we're gonna do that, get that going for all our vegetables. All right, y'all, so last up, we got our jalapeno. Like I said, it's optional. So we're gonna chop this top off. And then we're really just gonna go right down the side, you know, just kind of cut it off like that. And I might not even use all of this, but I'm gonna just chop it up anyway. I might actually like use this much right here. And then I'm actually, like I said, I'm not gonna use all of these. I'm just gonna use a little bit. I'm actually just gonna cut these in half like this. And then I'll probably just use these right here. All right, y'all, so as y'all can see, boom, we got our vegetables right here off to the side in the tray. So we're just gonna let these sit. They coming back in a few minutes. We're gonna go ahead and get our chicken started and bring these vegetables right back. All right, y'all, so we're starting off on medium heat. Let's go ahead and get our oil in here. We got our chicken right here. Let's just go ahead and get it in there. Now we wanna make sure that all of our pieces even contact with the pan. These are thin slices of chicken, so they're not gonna take long to cook at all. Once we get that heat up to temp, I'll put them in a little early. Once we get that heat up to temp, we only cooking for maybe about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. So we're gonna go one side, like I said, 4 or 5 minutes, and then we flip into the other side. It's not gonna take long at all. So start to let these work, our heat get in there. See, y'all can see, we already starting to get there. All right, so look, there's just one piece we pulled up so far, but this is what you want though. So we're gonna take the rest of these pieces and we're just gonna flip them over. Let them cook down. Stay on the medium heat. Cause like I said, you know, they're gonna cook fast. They don't need a lot of heat. These are thin slices of chicken breast. Ultimately, we want our pieces to start to kind of look like this. You know, just have that good char on them, that good cook. So now that our chicken is cooked, we're gonna go ahead, pull our chicken off, just, you know, put it on the outskirts a little bit. Let's get a little bit more oil in here. Just a little bit. And then we're going to introduce those vegetables because we want to start to cook these down as well. Just for a few minutes. We let these flavors combine. Let's start to mix these vegetables in. Let them get the contact, you know, with some of that heat. Blend them in with that chicken. So now what I want to do is I want to come back in with a little bit more seasoning. Seasonings that we already used. Because mind you, we want to get those vegetables seasoned as well. We got all our flavors combined. Peppers in there, everything seasoned, everything coated up real nice. So we're just going to give this like a minute or two. We on still a medium high heat. I brought it back down to a medium. So we're just gonna give this about a minute or two, give the vegetables a little bit more time to work, and then we're gonna come in with that chicken broth and we pretty much gonna finish this off. Alright, now see what we got going on. Vegetables, they cook down, they got a good texture. Now this is the time where we go ahead and we introduce that chicken broth. Because y'all remember, put that flour on our chicken, and we cooked our chicken down with that flour. And what the flour does, kind of like, you know, you making a roux or, you know, something like that. The flour cooked down and then it combined with that chicken broth. Then it starts to create kind of like a saucy texture. So we want to be on kind of like a medium high, just until we start to get a little bit of bubbling, just so we can start to activate the flour and the combination of the chicken broth as well. Then we're gonna bring the heat down after that. Once we bring the heat down, then it's gonna start to kind of develop a little bit of a thicker, just kind of sauce slightly though. Not nothing too crazy. It's already kind of doing it now. The heat, you know, it just start to activate it. So we're gonna allow this to, you know, keep on doing this thing. We're gonna give it, you know, about like 2 or 3 minutes on that high heat, and then we're gonna bring it down, and then we just pretty much gonna put it on the simmer. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, that's it. All right, y'all, boom, y'all see, we got our pepper chicken. Looking good. We got some rice right there too. Let's go ahead and just dive in. Look at that, yeah. Thank y'all for joining us again, look, for another Cook with Cartea recipe video. Make sure y'all try this at home. Make sure y'all come back. You know, we're making more fire recipes and we're doing more content on the channel. Look, we're going up this year. Tell everybody to tap in. Look, I love y'all and I appreciate all the support that y'all been showing to the channel. Let me know what y'all want me to make, what y'all want to see. Yeah, some of y'all favorite recipes. Let me see if y'all trying some of the recipes. Look, thank y'all again. I'm going to go ahead and get to this pepper chicken. I'm going to see y'all on the next Cook with Cartea recipe video. Y'all be safe.